Hello, everybody, and welcome back to our final session of today's Learning Text Showcase, Immersive Learning, sponsored by Camtasia, ComLab India, DID, and ELB Learning, and Imparta. So again, I'm Liz Faith, Events Marketing Specialist here at Training Industry, and I'm so thrilled to have you with us here today. Again, before we get started, I would like to quickly go over a few housekeeping items to help you interact with our speaker and get the most out of today's session. So again, continue to use that chat window for any comments and questions. We have a whole team here to address your questions, so please do not hesitate to drop them throughout. And then additionally, once this session ends, a brief survey will appear in your browser. Please take a moment to share your feedback on the session and speaker. And all of our sessions are being recorded and archived on trainingindustry.com, and you will receive a follow-up email from us that will include a link to the on-demand program for you to share with your team. Now, if this is your first Training Industry event, we would love to welcome you. We exist to make connections along learning and development professionals, and we offer tons of resources to support your role in L&D, like live events like today's showcase, as well as through articles on our website, our magazine, conferences, research reports, and our podcast. We would also love to hear about what you've learned from today's session on social media, so please follow us on your favorite platform so we can continue the conversation. Without further ado, it's my pleasure to introduce you to our final speakers today. We have Joseph Dearman, the lead product designer here at Camtasia, and we have Ryan Bort, portfolio brand manager at Camtasia. So with that, gentlemen, take it away.
All right. Hey, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all for joining us here today to learn more about turning screenshots into step-by-step training videos without recording your screen. As Liz just said, I'm Ryan Bort, and I will be presenting today with Joe Dearman. And I'll be honest with you, today Joe has the exciting part of today's presentation. So I'm going to take 5 minutes here, just kind of set the table a bit, and then I'm going to get out of the way so Joe can show you some exciting stuff. So TechSmith has been around since 1987, and you may be familiar with some of our products, Camtasia and Snagit. And historically, you would have said Camtasia is video editing software and Snagit is a screen capture tool. But today, the truth is that Camtasia is a suite of products that includes both the Camtasia editor and Snagit. And we've integrated them tightly together. And that allows us to bring our video, our image, and our AI capabilities all together to create some really cool workflows. So you might have once said that Camtasia can record your screen, your webcam, and do some video editing. But now it does avatars, AI voices, video to text, or edit video like text, translations, automatic guide creation, a whole bunch of things, and including what we're here to talk about today, which is creating videos from images in a generative screencast. So, what is a generative screencast and how does it help us all create these polished videos for training? Well, TechSmith, we've been creating videos from images for nearly 40 years. So, we like to think that we're the experts out of it in this area. So, with the generative screencast process that you're going to see from Joe, you can upload an image or even a series of images, and you can use AI to turn that into a how-to video with real sounding AI voices, with cursor movement, with zoom and pan. And unlike using like an LLM for this sort of thing, you have the ability to modify it with a storyboard before you generate the video. But even if you don't go through that process, whoop, going too fast here. Even if you don't go through that process, you can go from a simple screenshot to a polished video in like seconds. Videos made using our generative screencast functionality are the fastest path to create a video from just a set of images. And so that enables you to create videos you may not previously had time or skills to create. So we know that creating videos drives more consistency than and comprehension than images or text only training, and especially when it comes to those more complex training processes. But recording and editing videos can feel difficult and it often slows teams down. So Joe is going to bypass this nonlinear editor completely, and he's going to use the generative screencast process, which will allow him to save time because he's able to take an existing set of images and leverage AI. It's going to remove the skill barrier because not everybody knows how to use a video editor, or even if they do, they may not have all the tips and tricks that make your video pop. And he's going to skip the scripting altogether. That's going to be taken care of for him. And he doesn't need a mic, he doesn't need other professional equipment because we're going to generate all that for him so he can record a video from anywhere, regardless of his technical setup. And I want to be clear right now that there is a time and a place to use the video editor. Our main product, Camtasia, is a video editor. We know that there's value here, but our generative screencast functionality is perfect for when you don't have the time or the equipment or maybe the skill set to dive all into the editor. And so this is perfect for when you just need to make that quick, effective, how-to video training content. Okay, so when we set out to build this, we set out with a couple of things that we decided were not acceptable. When we're going to make an AI video, there's a list of things that you might think of when you think of AI video, and we did not want that to be true of this. So the first thing, this is not a glorified screen or a slideshow. We want to create actual videos with real movement and zoom and pan and cursor animation and ways to really keep the user or the viewer engaged and make sure they're getting the appropriate context. So it's not going to be just clicking through images that you have. We also didn't want it to have a robotic voice or inorganic sounding scripts. We are huge believers that audio is one of the most important parts of a training video. And so we didn't want to pull the viewers out of the experience with a robotic voice that kind of just throws them for a loop. And the last thing at Camtasia, we really believe in the power of the cursor. It is the hero of any good screen video. It guides the viewer. So when we set out to build this, we were never going to build something that didn't lean into that belief for us. Creating videos with just a static cursor was never on the table. So that is another example of what this is not going to be. Okay, so as I said, when it comes to how-to content, videos are more clear, they're more effective, they drive greater consistency and comprehension than text and images alone. But now it's time for me to stop talking and for you to see what I mean when I say that. And so with our generative screencast capabilities, we really believe this is the best way to make simple, short, how-to content. And so, Joe, I'm going to hand it off to you so you can show them exactly what that is. Joe has been working on this product since its inception, and so he's the perfect person to talk to all of you today. Joe, I'm going to let you take it away, and I think you're going to start us with a poll.
Yes, sir. Ryan, first of all, thank you very much. What an intro. You all should be seeing a poll in front of you right now. And really what we just want to know is how are you using AI in your daily work? I mean, it's as far as if I can speak for myself, there's virtually no aspect of my work that hasn't been affected by AI. And it's been really amazing to watch the different workflows that have emerged around me. And we do a lot of research here at TechSmith. We work with a lot of folks, instructional designers, people in education, and it's been, honestly, a way for us to sharpen the saw when we work with you all to learn how you're using AI. So this little poll is just put out there so that you can share with us how you're using it. There's some questions in there that may feel really ambitious, and they're there because we've heard from other customers that are doing it. So I can see, for instance, building, writing or assisting with production code. We have 11% in the room here doing that. I mean, isn't that remarkable? Ryan, think about like 5 years ago, if we were in a webinar and just wanted to ask a Zoom room, how many people are assisting with production code? Things have really changed. And really this technology revolution we're in has been quite amazing. And we've had a lot of fun learning how we can make you all more effective with this technology. And really that's the segue to our demo here. So thank you all for engaging with that poll. Are we ready to dive in? Let's go ahead and share my screen here. Okay, so I need to make sure I share my sound. And you all should see Camtasia.ai here. Everybody see that? Ryan, can you confirm we're good to go? Okay, I see some hearts in the chat. Thank you all. By the way,
you see it.
Hey, it's 2 o'clock over here in East Lansing, Michigan. It just started to feel like spring, like yesterday here. And to see you all in the chat dropping hearts and smileys and thumbs, we really appreciate the energy. Okay, so my journey, first of all, this is a labs project, and we're putting our best innovation, our foot forward here so that you all can help us shape how we use this technology to make you more effective. We work with a lot of education and instructional designers, people that make tech docs, these sort of things. And we want to use AI in a way that actually amplifies you, right? So this isn't a story here today that you just forevermore can just forget about ever making video again. It's actually just a more efficient way to create. And you'll see how you can apply what your knowledge is, your true assets to this process. Our journey actually starts in Snagit. So I'm going to pull up Snagit. This is our sort of beloved screen capture tool that we make here at TechSmith. And I've just got this capture of a cool infographic here. Right, so here we've got the 4 tips for high impact software training videos. You all can tell us how accurate this is or not. But I'm going to go ahead and just drag this into Camtasia.ai to start our process here. And I'm going to go ahead and click the AI training video maker. And again, you all can be trying this at home with me. And you can think of this more like onboarding than a demo. And you can see here we've got a little prompt, create a step-by-step tutorial video from these screenshots. And I'm just going to add, let's keep it short and focus on 1 point per tip. So as you all know, because that poll, and thanks again for filling out that poll, it looks like there is a lot of familiarity with AI workflows in this chat. It's kind of amazing how good the models have gotten with, sort of ambiguous prompts like this one. So, prompt engineering is obviously a very important skill, but what we're finding more and more is you can sort of leave some things a bit less specific and still be successful with AI. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit send. Now, what's going to happen is our AI is actually going to analyze this image, and it's going to figure out the parts of the image that actually matters, right? And it's going to make a storyboard. So what you see populating right here on my screen right now is a storyboard, and it's broken into scenes. Right? And if you don't know what a storyboard is, it's just a visual way to outline a video. So it's just another way of planning that's just visual. Obviously, there's deep roots in video production using storyboards. It's a great way to think through things visually. But you can see I've got this introduction to high impact training videos. Yep, that's right on. That's how I want to start the video. And I can scroll down here. If you draw your attention to this center scene, I've got a voiceover script. So let's try this out. Let's explore 4 essential tips for creating high-impact software training videos that engage and educate effectively. I've got call-out text, so 4 tips for high-impact training videos. And I can sort of scroll around and I can kind of see that this did a pretty good job. I'm right out the gates, it kind of understands the image and it's sort of given a nice faithful treatment to the image. Now, I can go in and be very opinionated. If I want, I could say, you know what? I do not really like the way AI sounds when it writes, and that's more power to your judgment here because you are absolutely the human in the loop. So I can go ahead and let's say I want to just remove this last part, start your video with a quick 5 to second preview of the completed workflow. Let's just go ahead and just leave it like that. We'll keep it terse. If I want, I can ask AI to take another crack at it. Right, so here I've just asked it to regenerate. It actually landed on the same thing I just did. And I'm going to go ahead and click on this box and I can actually look at the preview of what this scene will be. And this little box I'm adjusting is actually going to be the area that is the focus point where the emphasis will happen in the video. So I can steer this, right? So I'm going to hit update and it's actually going to factor it in. It's going to factor in that change. So here you can see this is pretty good. Whoops, my zoom controls are in the way. Apologies. Let me move my zoom controls. Getting a little hiccup there. Okay, so I can look around here. Tip 2. Let's see. This one looks like I could probably get rid of this one. And let's see. Maybe this end one is pretty good. A little overview. Okay. So it doesn't have to be perfect. I just want you all to see this. So I click Generate Video. And now what's going to happen is we're actually generating AI voiceovers. And what's really the remarkable thing that maybe is different from any other AI generative video service you've seen is we're actually making a real Camtasia editor project. So if you've ever done video editing or used our Camtasia editor tool, you know that that's sort of where you see the multiple tracks and you see the media laid out on a timeline. Well, that's actually what the AI is creating here. So not only will you have this ability to really instantly produce with images these little videos, but you also have this editable project. So let's just listen to a couple bars. We don't have to watch the whole thing, but let's just see what we have here.
Let's explore 4 essential tips for creating high-impact software training videos that engage and educate effectively. Kick off your video by showing a brief 5 to 10 second preview of the finished workflow. This sets clear expectations and instantly grabs attention by revealing the outcome right away. Record a clean desktop and zoom in between 125 to 150%, focusing only on the active area to reveal one control at a time. Write scripts that focus on real tasks and outline each segment with clear outcomes to keep your training concise and
Okay, so you could tell, hey, the robots can't quite come for us yet. It got it out of order. So I can fix that, right? I can go in, let's see, where did I get that little mess up? Right here, it went to scene 3 first, and I can repeat this process. So this is all fixable, right? But so that's an interesting little walk on how an infographic can come to life. Why don't we take a quick look here at a how-to video, right? So one of the things we've learned as we've been doing research and working with our customers is that there are really just, there's not enough time in the day to produce the number of videos that are really necessary to support onboarding, to support, you know, both internal systems, but also our external customers. So we have to end up sort of making some compromises, right? Like I've talked to some folks in large enterprises that can't commit to more than 200 videos in the total repo of learning videos because it's just the cost of maintaining those videos is so great. Well, so that leaves a lot of room for videos that should exist that simply don't, right? And so what we've done here is we've taken, if I go back to Snagit, is we've taken our step capture workflow, which produces these nice little SOP type how-to instructional guides, right? So here you can see I've got this little instructional guide about taking time off with our, you know, fictitious Paywise app. And you can see I've got step 1, step 2, step 3. And when you look at this, it's like I've got 5 steps here. It's sort of it's a nice document, but you know, I've shared a lot of documents like this in the past, and sometimes folks just don't read them, right? Or they just don't find them. A video is way more sticky, video is way more engaging. And this is one of those process videos that really just should exist. And now that we have this easier way to do it, it can. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drag this in. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal this in my Finder. And let's see here. I'm just going to pull it in. And what's going to happen is we're going to break up that how-to guide into these individual chunks, right? So you see I've got these 5 images for the 5 steps. And I'm not even going to prompt this time. I'm just going to let the images speak for themselves. You know, we've heard the expression, an image is worth 1,000 words, right? Well, let's go ahead and realize that for our own productivity's sake. So here I've got my storyboard being generated. And once again, things are broken into these little scene sections. And I can peer into these, I can edit these. Like for instance, accessing the dashboard, I can see is focused on the Paywise logo. I think that is poor judgment on the AI's part. I'd like to focus on the whole dashboard instead. And I can do that, right? So I just updated that focus area, and let's just spot check the rest of this. This all looks pretty good, right? So once I'm happy, I can hit generate again. You guys are kind of getting a sense of what this flow is like. It's inputting the images, it's prompting, it's editing that storyboard, and then that sort of ultimate, you know, thing that's magical here is that you get this video. So let's go ahead and take a look at this video. I was going to do this cooking show style, but I thought it'd be interesting just to show you all, you know, sort of how long this actually takes when you're really generating, because we're using AI to write these projects.
Hey, Joe, while that's generating, if you could take one question for me.
Absolutely. I'll take as many as you can send me.
Well, a couple people are asking about functionality that maybe doesn't exist directly in Camtasia AI. 2 that come to my or came through are captions and branding. Can that be done? And if not, how can that be done, I guess?
That's awesome. Well, I have to say, first of all, yes, yes, and yes. I'm going to show you guys how you can do that in our sort of portfolio ecosystem. Camtasia AI, though, if you would like that to live in this service, things you haven't seen yet, this little help shape this app button, if you would try this out and then click this button and just fill out that survey, we are literally building this in production right now and looking at this feedback daily. So anything that like that, you say, man, this would work if it just had this 1 or 2 extra capabilities, throw it in this little survey and we're going to make it happen. But in the meantime, though, yeah, in terms of captions, absolutely hear you. Very important. It's a part of our job. We have these little call outs right now, but we absolutely want to make captions an automatic part of the story. I'm going to show you that in a moment. And then the other thing, just to make sure I heard it, brand kit, right? these things have to look like they came from our organization. So if I work at Oracle, SAP, Salesforce, then those colors need to be reflected here. It needs to look on brand. We absolutely hear that. We want to make that true. So again, if you could just, elucidate, share a little bit more of what matters the most in that survey, we will make that happen because we are listening. So let's just take a quick gander at this, Ryan. If we're cool, I'll go ahead and preview this.
Begin by clicking the Paywise logo to open your dashboard and quickly access an overview of your account. Next, click on the calendar icon to view your schedule and time off options. Select the Request Time Off button to begin submitting your paid time off request. Fill out the form with your start and end dates. Choose the type of time off. Add any notes if needed, then click Submit Request. Once your time off request is submitted successfully, click on Dashboard to return to the home screen. Begin by...
Whoops, not bad, huh? Like, it's a pretty good video, and there's ways I could make this better, right? But the AI has put me in a really cool spot because now I get to go into Camtasia Editor. So I could either export this MP4, and this is now a video that's in the can, or I can download this zip file and open it in Camtasia. So once that's finished downloading, it just takes a second here. It's pulling all those images and all this project together. You can see that dropped nicely in my Camtasia folder here. So let's crack this open. Now let's go ahead and zoom in. If you've seen the Camtasia editor before, or one like it, like a non-linear editor, as we call them in the industry, would you drop an emoji in the chat if you've seen anything like this before? Video editing is, first of all, something I consider to be one of my favorite skills. I love video editing. But it also can be so brutal. I mean, look at all the stuff the AI did for me. I mean, I think if you've done this move before, you know this is work, right? Think about each scene as a voiceover you had to record. It's a screen recording you had to make. Think about those zooms, right? Each zoom is a zoom you had to add, a call out you had to write. And this isn't even accounting for gathering stuff from a subject matter expert or getting feedback from your peers. This is truly making some moves on your behalf so that you can sort of take that higher level and really apply to the design of this. What is a good instructional design outcome here? So I just want to start by saying, hey, I heard something about captions. So I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these callouts. This is a totally malleable project. I could change those if I want. I could make them a different look, but I'm just going to eliminate them because I want to add some captions. So let's add some dynamic captions here. In fact, I like this one. I'm just going to drag this down, and we're going to use AI once again to do some local transcription. And you can see I'm already getting something happening here. I can edit these so that maybe I want it to match brand. In this case, I have it on my Camtasia brand, but I can change it out to, let's see, how about we do Netflix here. You can get the Netflix red, and let's go ahead and make the size much larger here, and I can sort of position this accordingly. So now I have some of these dynamic captions. They look really nice. This is sort of more of a social media style, but we certainly have a lot of flexibility in style. Now, if I play this back already, I've got a different video. Now I recognize these are not ADA captions. You know, these are sort of more, like I said, the social media variant, but we are also working on making these captions compliant as well. So something to consider there. Now I'm going to go ahead and leave that on. The other thing I can manipulate here is the cursor. So if I go over this cursor tab, you see I've got this little pointer in the corner. Now I can go ahead and scale up the cursor, you know, this is a nice treatment if you really want to draw the viewer's eye. You know, maybe if I go over to this scene here, I'm going to go ahead and just scale that up. And now I get, whoa, I mean, that thing is insane, right? It's massive. But I'm going to go ahead and just change it such that it maybe looks more like a pointer finger, right? So I can go over here, grab a hold of that nice sort of Mickey Mouse hand, and boom, you know, and I can do this across all my scenes. I can just go in and select again, you know, and scale it up. And I have this nice, you know, cohesive look. Now, the other thing, because this is all malleable, is I can add cursor effects. So I can make it look really obvious when a click happens. You know, here, I'll just drag this on. I've got this nice little left click burst. And so when the click happens, let's see, oops, the burst happens so fast there. Let's do it on the next one here. So if I go over here and click, okay, this one we'll be able to see it more obvious. So if I go over here and then we watch it, boom, you get the nice little burst. And of course I can change this. I can make the color anything I want it to be, scale it up, maybe even make the duration a little faster. So let's see, boom, there's the nice little click. Let's go.
Then click Submit Request.
I mean, super nice, right? I'm just trying to, again, layer on areas where I'm using my judgment, you know, like in this case, too tight of a zoom, I can go in and pull that down such that it's not such a tight zoom. And you can see the level of malleability here. So what an interesting way to create. Now I'm editing in a way that is a lot more like I'm almost finished than starting from scratch, right? What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, looks great. Couple questions coming in based on everything you're showing. First thing is, Joe, you touched on it a moment ago. Can you talk a little bit about what that labs project means and like maybe what they can expect for the future of this tool?
Yeah, so one of the things why we have this labs project is we develop these ideas after we sit with our customers. In a lot of cases, we actually will pair with our customers and work with them directly. And we start to develop these ideas, but we want folks to have a chance to actually try them out and give us feedback before we, commit to full production code, building out the features, et cetera. So you could think of our labs project really as your way to get like a sort of an early access to things we're building and then help us steer it. So what you can expect here in the future is in the very near future, we're going to add the ability to import PowerPoint slides. So you'll be able to import a PowerPoint file, a PPT file, and have an automatic, sort of PowerPoint walkthrough. We're also looking at importing URLs. So you can just paste a URL of, let's say, a documentation website that you have, and we'll automatically turn a documentation website into a video. So these are things that we're working on, right now. And again, things that might be valuable to you that you haven't heard us say yet are things we would consider because we're moving really fast on this labs project. Yep.
And Joe, we got 3 minutes, so I don't know if we have time to demo this, so maybe just talk through this. But could I take the video I've made and make it in multiple languages?
Oh yeah, that's like the coolest workflow. Yeah, one of the things I wonder if I can just really, I won't be able to do it this way. Yes, try this out at home. You can type any language into this chat box, and if you've worked with ChatGPT, you know that it can do really effective jobs at transcription into localization. This is what we can do here as well. So you can actually drag in images, say, hey, make this video in German, and it will produce that storyboard localized for you.
Perfect. And then also, Joe, if they wanted, they could take it to the editor and use Audiate, and that's a whole nother workflow that they could then again.
We didn't even touch on that. Yeah, for instance, if you want higher quality voices, AI voices, we do 11 Labs voices in Audiate, and those all are just fantastic in the different localized, languages. So yeah, definitely give that a try as well.
Okay. And Joe, last question, and then I'll let you wrap up if you've got anything else to show. But people are wondering is like, I've made the video, I've popped it into the editor. Can I use AI again to change or update individual scenes once I've already popped it in the editor?
Yeah, once you're in the editor, as long as you still have it open, like I have it open here, you can still make refinements. So I encourage you to try it. It's not perfect. There's definitely some rough edges, but for the most part, you can go through, make the changes, get the voiceover sounding right, and just hit regenerate video, and it will regenerate with your changes, and you can export it again. So that's sort of the workflow of how we work with this, because what we're finding is it's just so fast to create this way that you really can just keep regenerating until you get it right. And it's really, almost, virtually seconds and minutes instead of thinking in hours, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Joe, I see Liz. We got probably 30 seconds left. If you have any last thoughts to share with the group now,
Awesome.
Maybe 30 seconds here.
Yeah, I did have one fast thing, and that is I didn't have time to show you the full workflow, but if you are familiar with AI agents and working in AI platforms like Cursor, Claude Code, OpenAI Codex, we have developed a way to actually use those agents to create content in Camtasia on your behalf. So here I've taken this website that Ryan has put together for you all to follow up and contact us. We've got some helpful links on this site. I took that website and I just said, hey, make me a Camtasia video. And the agents went to work while I was on this call with Ryan and you all. And while we were talking, all this work was happening on my behalf. And it all landed as a project. If I really fast, I don't want to waste any more time here. Oh, yes, it all landed here. And you can see I've created a project based off of a website, and it's an emotion graphic, sort of, I would argue like a high quality motion graphic outcome, right? So if you're interested in agentic workflows, please contact us because we are absolutely looking to pilot this with some folks. Right. So I think I stole some extra time there, Liz. So I appreciate your generosity there.
Hey, I mean, if you're keeping the audience, I say keep going. No, but you guys were fantastic. You're going to be busy with a lot of questions. We are blowing up here in the chat. So honestly, I kind of wanted to get in there and have some fun. So thank you both so much. I appreciate you. So for everyone else though, I just want to give a big thank you for everybody who's been with us here today. Thank you to all of our dynamic speakers and all of our sponsors, Camtasia, ComLab India, DID, ELB Learning, and Parta. And additionally, all of our sessions are pre-qualified for a credit hour by SHRM, HRCI, and ISPI. So please send an email to me. I'll put it in the chat right now, and I will send you those codes as soon as I can. If you are a CBTM member, good news, inside your tracker, you can use today's events as well. But if you have any questions or problems with that, shoot an email to the courses team or myself, and I will get you to the courses team to log those hours. Additionally, I would love to meet you all here in person in Raleigh, North Carolina for our 2026 Training Industry Conference and Expo, which is right around the corner next month. That's where learning leaders like you guys forge new professional connections, you learn from each other, and address most pressing learning challenges. So can't wait to see you there. Additionally, revolutionize your training programs with AI intelligence integrations and drive impactful results. Learn to use AI for skills gaps, analysts, and personalized learning pathways, and tips for ethical AI use in L&D. So you can do that with our AI Essential for Training Managers certificate. Additionally, one last reminder, that survey will pop open in another tab in your browser, and we would greatly welcome your feedback from today. And again, thank you all for today for joining us. Until next time. Sharon, I believe it is 3 for the CBTM, but I would reach out to the courses team just in case. But otherwise, thank you all for joining us. Until next time, I am Liz. I hope you have a wonderful day, a wonderful week, and I will see you all very soon. Bye, everybody.